What's happening, budget builders, and welcome back to the channel. I hope all y'all are staying safe and healthy out there. There's some crazy times going on right now. Once again, all of you guys are in our thoughts and prayers. Be careful out there and keep your family safe. So we're really tired of fighting the weather and fighting daylight to keep working on this car. It's time to get the suspension wrapped up underneath here and get this car down on its wheels in this episode so we can get it in that garage. Obviously, in the near future, once we get the car pretty much wrapped up and everything on the outside, we may have to go back, pull a few things apart, tip it back up on its side, and repaint. But for now, we want to get it wrapped up, get the suspension on it so we can get it down and really get working on this car because we are tired of it being up here on its side. So first thing, let's get the steering rack out of here so we can get it cleaned up and get the area underneath it cleaned up so we can be done there. And then we're going to go ahead and jump into the back here and get that rear suspension wrapped up. Alright, so what we're going to do here to get the rack removed is, earlier I'd already pulled this bolt here loose, which is your pin bolt. And what this has a little divot in it that holds it in, locks it in place there. And so because the steering column is locked and I don't want to go destroying everything in there just yet, I'm going to take these two bolts here loose and give us enough slop to hopefully get that thing out of there and get this column out of here. Rack and pinion, out. All right, and these are actually 5mm. Let's go get a little cheater real quick. Ow. All right, will it move at all? No. There it goes. All right, hold what you got. Yep, sometimes you gotta jerk it around. All right, let's get it cleaned up in there. All right, got everything out of there. The fuel lines did look pretty good. These plastic fuel lines, may end up replacing them. All the brake lines are super solid and everything, look really good. Once we get the car back down, we will lift it back up to run new lines here and everything, figure out the fuel system, and figure out, get the master cylinder put in and everything. That's stuff that's not too terrible to get from underneath the car, but the biggest thing is to get this all cleaned up and looking really good before we get it tipped over. Obviously, somebody here wants us to get this thing moved, because that's gross, we want it out of here anyways. Everything up front looked pretty good. We did prime it. There's a little spot underneath here that we are going to have to work on a little bit, but we'll do that once it's tipped over. But otherwise, everything underneath is pretty sound, pretty solid.
Perfect. Perfect.
Alright, now that we got that wrapped up, it is time to start tackling this front suspension and that rack and pinion. Now, although realistically, I would love to go through and get all of this powder coated, polyurethane bushings and everything, it's just not in the budget right now. Now, we did get new tie rod ends, knuckles, and shocks, but the company that was supposed to send that out sent out a fuel module, a gas module instead of a gas shocks. So we're kind of on standstill on that. But we're going to go ahead and get all this cleaned up really good, get it painted so we can get it back on there, get that thing degreased, pressure washed, cleaned up. Realistically, all the bushings look in great shape. All the boots look to be in great shape. We're going to make sure everything moves freely and sounds good. Obviously, in the future, we would like to drop it, get it powder coated, polyurethane bushings, but right now, for what we're working with, you know, we're going to do the best we can, and I think it'll be pretty sound and do quite well for now. Now, the sway bar bushings do not look great, and I forgot to get those, but that's going to be something pretty easy to take care of even once this is in the car. So let's go ahead and start getting all this cleaned up, and so we can start getting some paint on it. Alright, well, I'm spraying that and letting it dry. Dad's out here with some degreaser, getting this rack all cleaned up. Yummy, yummy. Alright, well, he'll get this wrapped up while that dries, and then once it's all ready, we'll get it slapped back on the car. Alright, let's go ahead and clean up all of our bolts so we can get ready to put this in. As you can see, most everything here is painted up, and realistically I feel like it came out pretty well. This sucker cleaned up pretty good, and I think it'll look really nice up under there. So right now I'm cleaning up everything. In the future, I'd like to go to the store and get new stainless hardware for everything, just have everything nice and fresh and stainless so we don't have any issues with anything. Obviously, the issue we're having with everything with stuff right now is stuff's not shipping, stores are closing early, if it open at all, and so we're having trouble getting parts and stuff, but we really do want to get this car down so we can get working on the top side of it instead of underneath. So obviously I hate to go back on stuff, but it's what we're going to have to do at this point, and we really want to get it down and out of this weather. Even though we do keep it covered up, it's just such a pain to work on it, and we want to get it in that garage. We want to get it finished, cleaned up. We want to get the motor in it so we can hear it run, and I hope you guys are excited for that. What goes here? What goes here? Alright, start that right there. We'll have a little touch up stuff, right? Yep. Oh, yeah. Whew. That is awkward. Don't live in the front. Same, all the same. Clean that one up. All right, y'all, so the sun's setting. Pretty pleased with how everything's looking. Tell us what you guys think. Got to go ahead and get all these tools cleaned up and everything before it gets dark, but we will catch you guys tomorrow. All right, it's time to jump back into this thing. We've got the floor and the front looking pretty good so far, but it's time to do something with this back before we button it up. Let's go ahead and drag the pressure washer out, blast this thing, get it real good and clean, maybe throw a little bit more undercoating on it so it matches the rest of the underneath of the car, and then let's wrap those trailing arms up and get them on here.
Perfect. Perfect.
Alright, now it's time to take care of these. First thing we got to do, get that bearing pushed out. We've got a new set to put in. Oh my. To put in both of these. As advised by all of you guys. So let's go ahead and get this pushed out with our press here. And then we'll stick the new ones in. That is really, really rich. Better hope that bearing don't fall out. What? Yeah, what? Alright, so what we've done here is jammed a 4x4 in there. And we're going to attempt...
I would do just put this down here and put it down just like you had it. Then you don't need this.
What is it?
Turn it back upside down, put this down on here.
Okay.
And then push on the 2x4.
Now there's a lot more that we can do with this thing up here on its side, but there's nothing that we can't do with it back down on the ground. So we're gonna tip this thing back over. We've been dying to do it. We know you guys have been dying to see it down on its wheels. We're gonna get it tipped over, get the wheel stuck on it, and get prepared to get this thing in the garage so we can begin to actually work on this thing conveniently instead of having to be out here in the rain, in the weather. Don't get me wrong, it's a pitiful little garage. We're still gonna be redneck doing it out here, but we gotta do what we gotta do, and we're gonna get this thing done. But let's go ahead and get this car tipped over.
Last timer. Put it up on the side.
Alright.
Ready?
Yep. Oh, okay. I got all those bolts there.
Okay.
I got this thing if you want to come to this side.
Oh, it's sitting there.
Huh?
I said she's sitting there.
You want to grab those bolts really quick?
Yeah. Don't put her down on my head because they're filming it. Alright. I do. I'll at least wait for one.
Okay. Let's throw some wheels on this thing. All right, y'all, there it is on its own wheel, sitting on the ground for the first time in what feels like forever. I don't know about y'all, but I'm excited to sit here at this stage, knowing it's sound and solid underneath and is ready to get in that garage so we can further work on it and get it closer to being able to drive it. I can't wait to get it in there, get working on that engine bay, get the motor complete, and get it stuck in there so we can hear this thing run. And I want to thank you all so much for the positive love and support that we've had so far on this channel. Can't say it enough. We're having an awesome time being able to bring this car back to life and enjoy the other projects that we have going on with you guys. Be careful out there. Stay healthy and stay home. Protect your families. Once again, all of you guys are in our thoughts and prayers, and we hope that everything gets back normal here real soon. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode and how far we got with this. Have a great evening, and catch you all on the flip side.
Done?
Yeah, done.
Okay.
If you guys want to see some videos of us ripping that thing, let me know.